Hey guys, in this video we're going to be taking a look at this micro Flysky receiver. It's the FS-A8S, and as you can see here it's extremely tiny. It does IBus, SBus, and PPM, up to 8 channels in PPM and up to 18 channels in IBus. It's got a single antenna, and the antenna is replaceable with a micro FL connector there. It's got a 4-pin connector here, and the yellow cable here is for PPM. The white one is for IBus and SBus, and the red and black is for power. Thing is pretty light. Let's see how much this thing weighs. So it comes in with the connector and everything about 2 grams. I bet you if you cut this shorter, it'll be less. Let's see how much it weighs without that connector there. So 1.68 grams. Let's get a couple of quick measurements here. So this measures approximately about 20 millimeters long and about 15 millimeters wide, and the thickness is about 6 millimeters. Now, I did test this out very briefly here. I tried to bind it to the Turn Energy Evolution and also my Flysky i6S radio, and it's kind of interesting. When I was trying to bind it, I didn't think it was working, because normally when you go through the bind procedure, it tells you that the bind was successful, and you get a little tone, and you get some receiver telemetry back from the receiver as to, in terms of the battery voltage for the receiver. However, the thing that threw me off is it looked like it was not binding, but it actually was bound. And so I'm going to actually demonstrate this so you can see what's going on. And so I think the downside to this is that you're not going to know if you have a failsafe, or if your signal gets low, it won't give you any kind of a warning. So it's something that you ought to keep in mind. But let me just show you how to bind this, and then we'll explain a little bit more. Okay, so go ahead and power on my radio. And see if I can get all this into shot here. So as you can see right here, there's a question mark by the receiver battery, because we have no connection. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into here and then the menu and go to RX bind, put the transmitter into bind mode, and then going to power on this guy, and you're supposed to power it on while holding down the bind button, so it's going to be a little hard for me to show this while I'm plugging it in. I'll give it power while holding the bind button down. So the slowly flashing light means it's in bind mode, and then when you take the transmitter out of the bind mode, the light turns solid red, which means that this solid red light means that it has a bind to this radio, even though there was no successful bind notification on the radio itself. So you can see here, there's no information here in terms of voltage for the receiver. It's just a question mark. So what I'm going to do is watch this red light here on the receiver. I'm going to turn the radio off, and you'll see this light will start flashing. There. So that's the indication of failsafe, because the radio's gone. And then when I turn the power back on, it turns solid again. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure why this doesn't have any telemetry back like the other receivers. It's possible in order to miniaturize this receiver, they cut out some of these features. But I'm going to see if this actually will I'll actually do a test. I'll do a test. I'll hook this to my flight controller with a servo, and then we'll test the failsafe. And what I'll do is I'll just see how much range this thing actually has, how far I can go away from the receiver with my radio before it failsafes. So let me go and do that. Set that up. Okay, so I got a little test set up here with a flight controller running iBus on the Flysky micro receiver. So it's kind of messy, but just want to demonstrate how the failsafe works. The receiver is bound here. We got a solid red light, and it's bound to my Eternity Evolution here. And I'm using this switch here to arm and disarm. And I want to show you that here in clean flight. It's aux1, so it's disarmed, the value is 1000, and armed, the value is 2000. When I flip the switch, I'll disarm in here. And then I want to show you here under, let's see, modes here. This is where I'm having it armed, so it's disarmed, and then when I arm it, it goes over here. Showing us how this is set up. And then under failsafe, right here, I have the arm, or the aux switch here, the arm switch, set to a value of 1000 in case of a failsafe, and set to a guard time of half a second. So what I'm going to do is go here to receiver, and as you can see, it's disarmed right now. I'm going to go ahead and arm it. You can see it's armed. Then I'm going to turn the transmitter off. There it goes. And you can see that it automatically disarmed. And you can see here the receiver is in failsafe. So that's how I have my receiver set up for failsafe. There wasn't really any procedure or anything in the instructions to how to set failsafe, so I just manually set it in the flight controller under the failsafe tab here. And then I just set these values according to the way I have my switch set up for arming and disarming, so you'll have to adjust yours appropriately. Okay guys, I'm here at the park with my Tomo Quads XBL117 here, and I put the Flysky micro receiver here on this guy instead of the FreeSky receiver. Swap that out. And for you guys that are new to the channel and wondering what this is a pretty awesome 2S brushless micro, 55 grams without the battery. I'll put a card up here in the corner if you guys want to watch the build video for this. It's pretty amazing. Anyway, gonna do a range test on this receiver. Have it bound to my Eternity Evolution Flysky protocol. It works. And I'm gonna take it to the end of the park over here in the corner, which is about 100 meters away according to Google Maps from where I'm sitting. So this receiver, according to the specs, can do more than 300 meters with clear line of sight. So 100 meters should be able to handle that without any problems at all. But we'll see. saw, it went to the end of the park no problem, and I think 100 meters is probably the most I'd go with this anyway, because I would use these micro receivers on these micros and not a full-size quad, and seemed like there was no problems at all, no dropouts, no failsafe, so I'm probably going to get some more of these. Anyway guys, hope you liked this video. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the comment section below, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.